Hi there, and welcome to the TeenClarity podcast. I'm your host, Kristen Brooke Fulton. So glad you're here. So, I'm a corporate girl turned stay at home mom, a teen ministry leader, and now a business owner. Really out to help anybody raising teenagers to understand, connect, guide, and to help lead their teen to a life full of purpose. I'm assuming since you're here that you are either a parent or a grandparent or someone raising a teenager, and I just want to welcome you and let you know we are here to help. That this podcast is made to give you simple, actionable strategies and step-by-steps and tools that you can take and implement right away while training and guiding and raising up your teen. It wasn't too long ago that I was raising my oldest through her teenage years. And in fact, I'm still raising my youngest one now and am right there with you. And what I have found along the way is that you can, as a parent, grow both in your relationship with your teen and within yourself too. Like a lot of the times when we look at teenagers, they are looking to us to guide them. They're just little people trying to adult, just as like when they were 2 years old and they were learning to walk. We would be there every single step of the way, helping them, holding their fingers and walking them through. And that's what we need to do too for our teens now. As they look to us as their parents and as their mentors, we want to be right there with them, helping them along the way, just as we did when they were younger. And so, welcome. I thought it would be fun today on this first episode of our podcast to go back and start from the very beginning of why I'm even here. And it all starts with a story. Many years ago in Europe, there was an old musician that sat at an organ in a cathedral playing. He was a skillful musician, and the old cathedral was absolutely beautiful. In fact, you could see the sun shining through the stained glass windows, and the old musician took on an almost angelic appearance. And he filled the church with beautiful, beautiful music. But on this one particular day, it was a bit sad and melancholy because he was being replaced by a younger organist. At dusk, the back door of the cathedral opened rather brusquely and a young man stepped inside. The old musician looked up, recognized who he was, reached up, removed the key, put it in his pocket, and headed for the back door. As he drew abreast the young man held out his hand and in a few simple words said, "Please, the key." The musician put the key in the hand of the young organist. The young organist almost literally ran to the organ. And then he stopped, looked at the bench, and then at the organ for just a moment. Then he sat down, inserted the key, turned it on, and began to play. Whereas the old musician had played skillfully and beautifully, the young musician played with sheer genius. Music filled the cathedral, it filled the town, it filled the countryside, music such as they had never heard before. This was the world's introduction of Johann Sebastian Bach. With tears streaming down his cheeks, the old musician said, "Suppose, just suppose, I had not given the master the key." When I heard this story back in 1996, I was Miss Johnson City and was speaking to a bunch of teens almost every week and just fell in love with the story. And I fell in love with what the meaning was behind it. And that was that we all have these keys. We all have something that we need to give away. We can't keep them to ourselves. And if we kept them to ourselves, it would not go on to the next generation for them to take and run with it. Just like the torch. They take it and they run with it. And so the story came pretty much full circle as I watched my girls, this was a couple years ago, but I watched them drive away to school on their own without me. And I was happy for them, but looked up into the sky and literally out loud said, "Lord, okay, what's next?" Like, I have loved being a mom, a stay-at-home mom. I've loved raising my girls. I just don't feel like I'm done. I felt that there are more people out there and more lives to touch. And so I really leaned in and poured it to the Lord and just asked and kept asking and kept showing up to him like, okay, Lord, what's next for me? What's next? And that led me to, the Lord really did, led me to the whole writing the TeenClarity program. So you might be asking, like, what is the TeenClarity program? Well, it's multiple things, but on the forefront is a 30-day program where moms or parents and their teens, it's a duo, join an online Zoom class where we meet once a week for 4 weeks. And in this class, they learn multiple things throughout each week. The very first week is all about the discovery of the brain and the hormones and why our teens do what they do, why they act the way that they act. This particular week, moms absolutely love because they finally are shaking their heads going, I get it. That's so good. Thank you. They get a lot of clarity in it. And then the second week, we move into learning about our teens. So that looks like, what are their spiritual gifts? We have a spiritual gifts test that they take. What's their personality type? How did they learn? What are their interests? And then we put all of this together. So by week 3, we're exploring who they are and what they're all about, how God made them to be. And then in the 4th week, they move into deciding what their power project is going to be. Now, a power project is taking all the information that they've learned and moving on to a project that they can do together. Again, they're a duo, a mom-daughter, mom-son, dad-son, grandma-granddaughter, whatever the duo is. And after the 30 days and the power project has been decided, then you can move into the TeenClarity course. And in the TeenClarity course, it's a 3-month. You have 2 Zoom calls a month with me, and then 2 Zoom calls with your group, your accountability partners, your accountability group. And from there, you put together your power project. Now, at the end of all of that, if you decide, yeah, like we really have a great project, this could turn into something. It could turn into a ministry, a business, a brand. Like, for instance, I had this dad to call, and his son had gotten into bees, and he wanted to have a bee business. And so that would be, someone who would move into the course and into the Embrace Life Academy course that then would go from idea to ministry, brand, or business. And so we've got all 3 levels. Everything is covered in this program. And so watch for more information on that. You can also go to the website and click on the TeenClarity page to learn more about it. That's kbfulton.com. And then you click on the TeenClarity link or kbfulton.com/TeenClarity. Also, want to mention to you, if you have not checked out my Parent Fave freebie, which is the top 10 things, it's a checklist. So the top 10 things you should be doing as a parent to strengthen your relationship with a teen, please click on the link below. It's in the comments. So glad that you're here. Look for a new podcast episode every Thursday where we will be tackling the questions that you have. And if you want to write in a question, then go to the website and click on the link that says ask a question, and you can submit it, and then we will answer it in the podcast. So glad to have you ask your questions. So that's it for today. That's really why we're here, what the podcast is going to be about, what I'm all about. And I look so forward to spending a few minutes with you every week, diving into what our teenagers are all about, how we can understand them more, how we can connect with them more, how we can guide them on new levels, and then finally getting them to purpose, which really then leads them onto their next phase of life. And when you have purpose, life looks different. You wake up different. You show up different. You know that you have a meaning and a purpose, that God has a plan for you, and that you're here for a reason. And that's what this is all about. So thanks for joining me. I'm going to leave you like I will leave you every week, which is embrace the life that God gave you. Go out to serve others and make the most of it. And remember, we're here to build up His kingdom. See you next time.